Alrighty, people. Back with another AZR video. Third time's a charm. Just kind of want to go through the whole package here. This is from start to finish. We got a stock 2-position unit here, uncut, untrimmed, everything. This is your regular disconnect that comes with it. And then just some other examples here. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to the master, kind of get to it, and see where this goes.
Alrighty. So getting a 2-position AZR into a 3-position AZR. This is what comes when you order the 2-position. Disconnect, standard 2-position unit. This is basically what you get when you get a 3-position unit from Arizona. He does not include the ambies. This one is already cut, this disconnect. These are one of the stock ones that he sends. I have had the luxury of using the 3-position as an original template for the 2-position items. M16 disconnects can be bought any one of 10 or 15 different places. M16 parts, KAK, B-Kings. There's a couple other places you can get them too. But what you need to really do here is you're going to eliminate, obviously, the 2-position disconnect or the standard disconnect, and you're going to need to transfer over into that. With that said, I am not going to give you dimensions for this. We may include them later, because a stock 3-position and a stock 2-position are a little bit different as far as the leg length goes. Their mil-spec trigger, is a little bit, it's a GI trigger from what I understand, standard issue, kind of M16, has the back cut out of it and all that stuff. It is a little bit different across several platforms. We have several of these units running in several different lowers, different triggers, mixed hammers, mixed trigger bars, and things like that. The principle is all the same. You will get there. You just need to have patience and really rely on your function test and knowing some of the intricacies of some of the parts here. This is a stock 3-position from AZR disconnect. This toe is different from this toe. This is a uncut M16 disconnect. The difference here can be one of the reasons you may or may not get the functionality in the semi. And it may want to go, keep going back in the FRT, or you get multiple strikes, things of that nature, multiple fire. So just because this is fatter will not always mean that it is not going to work. Different trigger combinations will work with it. Stone stock as is. Once you cut it to make the leg to make the room for the cam leg, that's basically all you need to know. If you're having problems with semi, which we will cover, then you may need to take a little bit off and just make sure it matches this. Again, that is going to be your trigger mod. So what I like to use just for a little bit of an upgrade, just because I think they perform a little better than the GI trigger. Standard issue DPMS polished fire control group. It's plated, it's nickel plated, comes with all the usual suspects here, pins, trigger. You can use any of this except for the disconnect. You will see though that it has the bar in the back. This will not accept what you need here for the M16 disconnect. The hole, you need to have that cut out in the back. So one of the first things you're going to do Dremel that right out there, make it nice and smooth. That's it. We're going to get to that one. What you need now is, I'll show you real quick what the principle is behind this. I'm going to use this one as a example. So this was a modified trigger bar. This is also, not to dilute the conversation here, but this little brass piece that I brazed on here, this was because a leg of one of the AZRs that we had was too short. Instead of welding onto your leg, possibly if you're not, I'm not an outstanding welder, so instead of ruining your AZR, you know, and then having to come back and cut it and it keeps getting shorter and you can't get it, you can put a little bit of braze right on this leg and just clean it up. Little file, little Dremel, smooth it out. That's going to increase the height of your trigger bar, which will make this guy meet right where it needs to. Otherwise, it's going to be swinging in the breeze. But the whole principle behind this guy here is basically, if this guy fits, your portion that is going to get cut out here is making room for this cam leg. When that trigger, that bolt is coming in and camming back and forth and it's holding down on your trigger bar, that cam leg needs to clear your disconnect, which is what this is. So we'll take this out real quick. I'm going to show you how this sits in here. If it'll go in there, there we go, nicey nice. Now you see how this is all hogged out in there? That allows that guy to stay right on there. That's basically kind of what you're looking at. As you're holding down your trigger bar and your disconnect, it's pinned down by your 3 position. That's it. Back and forth, has to be able to cam. And the real reason I think he does it is because it leaves enough meat on your foot. Conceivably, you don't need to do this to your disconnect. If you made this razor thin, which I would not recommend because the action of this hammer and your bolt and the FRT mode is a little violent in there. You want as much material on here as you can get. So that's that. But now I'm going to show you how to, real quick, just do a disconnect here. So again, stock disconnect. This was an original 3 position I had marked for stock. And this is basically it. I held it up to here and kind of just transferred everything over. There are a lot of pictures. You can see this thing for yourself here, exactly what it takes, what it looks like. It does not have to be exact. The majority of what you need is right from this shoulder to about here is what counts. That's where you want to get your thickness. I'm not even going to I'm not going to transfer this over. I'm just going to freehand this thing. So what I normally do is just kind of take a guess. Bring this over here for you. I take a little scribe, right? And we're going to come down to here, kind of round it up. Make enough of a mark so you can see it. Make sure you are doing it on the correct side of the disconnect, because this only goes in one way. If you cut it on this side, wah, 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 you will not have a functioning item. You're basically going to split down the middle, half, or thereabouts. like I said, this does not have to be dead on. I'm going to carry that guy down to about the middle there. That's about it, man. And then this guy down in the middle here, about halfway. Just enough so you can kind of see it. That's all you really want to do. Because for those of you who are getting a 2-position, this mark right here, that comes like that from JD, right from Arizona. They put that on there. This is exactly what you need. So you'll get that for free. And then the rest of it is, you got to remember to keep your fat end for this guy to cam down on. And that's it. And then just take your middle section out, and that's that. So we're going to come over, because since this is the meat and potatoes of the operation, the disconnect is really the trickiest to do. Takes the most time. I'm going to come over here, and everything in this world for guys that don't have access to machining and things of that nature are going to be Dremels. In Dremel we trust. Put him in there like that. You can kind of wedge some stuff in there to hold it. I usually just, because my hands are like leather, kind of go raw dog. One thing I'm going to tell you here about your Dremels. The flat cutoff disc is probably the best I have come across. When they get worn out and they start to get tiny, save them. This is a full-size brand new one. Great for hogging out your material. This has kind of been used medium. This guy is small. And why is that? Because this little guy here is way easier to get in on tight areas, like the back of this, which you're going to see, than that big guy. So, all you're basically going to do is just hog out the fat stuff first, right? Bring yourself down to half. It does not have to be perfect. You're going to need to do a little bit of finish work at the end of this here. You know, just clean it up. But
Right in your way.
you'll do, yeah, just, you know, kind of flip around to wherever. I'm going to probably be over on this side for the most part. You want to come over there.
Yeah.
Let me grab,
Get pelted here.
yeah, you're going to get blasted. Let me just grab this as a backup in case I got to hit it. All righty, ready for the noise. Whoopsies. That's literally, that just gets you in the ballpark. I mean, there's not much to it. You shape it, kind of get it going. I love these little file sets. I believe these are from Lowe's. I run through quite a bit of them. You know, just grab your file, kind of clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. Here we go. We're getting all nice and clean, making your nice, you know, it's going to take you a hot minute. If you're in a rush, don't be in the game. Really, we don't even technically have to even finish this guy. But now you can see kind of how it cut. And one of the problems with a round piece of Dremel is trying to get this here. That's why I say save your smaller wheels, because you'll nick the back of this. When you nick the back of this, what happens? Absolutely nothing. It does not matter. It's a little scratch. You know, you can actually probably get away with cutting a little bit of this. The more meat you leave, the better you're going to be. You know, you have a disconnect that's just a little bit better, has a little bit more, you know, a better survival, because it's just, you know, it's got more meat. It's just going to be a little bit stronger. But this is literally all you really got to do. If you want to get crazy, what I use too, I have it up here at a head. I use this style right here. I'll come straight up, clean them up real nice all around the corners. You know, it chatters a lot, so it's, you know, it's not a milling machine here, it's hand. So you're just going to cut that out of there. But that's about it, man. I mean, just knock off your sharp edges. You can use take a little wire wheel, just clean it up real nice, smooth it out. Anything that gets you to this point, whatever you're comfortable with. You know, you want to file the thing out for 3 days straight, go ahead. But that is it. I mean, it's that simple. So what we'll do now, I'll take, while I got it here, we're going to take the this guy's going to get hot.
Anybody with the super safety should be familiar with this process.
Yeah.
Similar,
This is
similar to it.
This is a little bit more,
Cutting the back out.
because you got a significant, you know, instead of rounding it, you got to kind of. So what we're going to do is bring him down there. Don't have to worry about nice 2 pieces of pine block. This is not going to hurt. This is not going to hurt anything. You'll crush the pine. You're not going to crush your trigger. You're going to get down in there. You're going to start cutting this out and just hog it right out. That's it, man.
Fire.
And grabbing that guy. Okay. And that's it. You can see there's a little teeny tiny bit of a hump there. Guess who's going in there? Mr. File. Or chuck it back up. Smooth them all out. This is one thing you also need to function check once you kind of get in here with your, it's good enough. So now you got your newly cut trigger bar. You've got your newly cut M16 style disconnect. First thing you want to do is make sure this guy's passing through there. And what's happening? He's not. Why? Because I didn't go down deep enough. One side of the bar is a little fatter. So, knock this right off. Gonna barehand it because we don't care. Shoot yourself in the face. Good. Bingo. All right, you want to feel, make sure nothing's hanging up. Feels pretty good. This is an upgraded disconnect spring, available on B Kings, available in several locations. I forget the name of this. I am sorry. I forget the name of it. I know it's one of the classic guys that actually. God, it's one of the classic names. I'm not going to fumble and fuck around with it too much. A little bluing. I'm going to take your boy here. Because the reason I'm doing this, one, it's protected. Two, you've got stuff rubbing in there. You are now going to see where it goes and what the problem is. Let that sit for a hot minute. Leave this guy right out here. So while we're waiting on that, what we're going to do here is just clean that off. So you get a little bit of blue on there, and now you'll see whether or not this thing is scraping anywhere. So what we're going to do now is the Arizona, real quick. If we want to, I mean,
Yeah, might as well.
It's basically
25 minutes already.
Is it 25 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll go until this thing turns off.
Okay. Then let me.
I can always just make it.
Yeah, you can trim.
Part.
You can trim the stuff out for the grinding and
Part
stuff.
two.
You know, just do.
Yeah. I feel like this is the most self-explanatory part.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is about the same. This thing's too wobbly. I'm not going to use that. Usually use my calipers, but I don't have them over here. It's basically pretty close. Like I said, the beauty of this, and make sure you're cutting. One thing you want to make sure is you are definitely doing the cam leg on the right side here, because again, you're going to have, you know, a metric unit here. I used to, man, I'm rusty. Cat hair. Mark. Right there. So then we're going to take this guy. Now that you have your mark, this This is kind of caveman style. My father would roll over, even though he's not in his grave. Saw me doing it like this. So that's it. Basically halves it. And this guy up here, sky's the limit. You don't have to really worry too much about what your height is, but you just want to make sure that you're getting it up there enough. And this is basically that's it. So you got your marks, and guess where we're going? Hook your fingers on the Dremel. This guy I'm not going to chuck up. Yikes, that gets hot. We're going to have to.
Hot.
Yeah, it gets too hot.
Yeah.
Thought I could be slick, but let's see here how we want to put him in. I forget how I used to cut these guys. It's been a minute. We've kind of been in relaxation mode with some of our stuff here. Give them a little smush. Hey-o.
Durability test.
Yeah. That's your function test. I'm going to take this off real quick. I'm not prepared for class. Good enough. And then we're going to hold the non-dead end. That's it. Clean them up. Now you got your 2 position cut like your 3. We'll install this guy real quick, but the problem's going to be, which will take some time, is dropping your lower cam leg. Getting your height. I guess we can stick it in there. Put him over there. him over there. This is a lower that we already had a 3 position in. It's low key. We don't make our own lowers. It's got its numbers on there, don't worry. Mr. and Mrs. Feds. And there we go. Where's our newly cut disconnect up here? Gonna put our spring in. This guy over top. We're gonna stick our too much of a hassle here with this. Well, one thing we did forget. Guess what, people?
I was gonna say you need the springs.
Yeah. Trying to hurry a little bit.
Oh, you're good.
You go in. You go in. You, I'm going to use you because it just works out easier all the time. See your disco? Not moving. Your trigger bar is, though. Semi. Safe. And knock this guy out here real quick. This upper's going to be
Best part.
yes, my favorite. At least it's not the Geisley.
Yeah, really. It's found a new home.
I will not leave that like that. I will clean that up, obviously, and all that good stuff. Try not to make this a 3-day project on the video for you. Take him off. Get our parts here real quick. Loop him back around. So, everybody knows where the magic happens. This is a B-Kings. So that's the fit basically on a stock. This may not close up because of the fact that that leg is so long. I'm not sure. Okay. Then at this point, you're basically going to follow the instructions from AZR about trimming your leg. Why is that happening right there? Because the leg is too long. It's pinching it. It won't cam all the way out. So, as you guys may or may not know, with the AZRs, you need to, let's put this guy here. You need to bring it down a little bit, which I'll do for you real quick because I'm such a good, nice guy. This is a fly cut piece of stainless. Not everybody's going to have it. Anything that's nice and flat, you got something that's a 90, you got your favorite file. Make a couple passes. Not too much. I happen to have done one or two of these before. That's why I'm going a little bit crazy right off the bat there. Take your time. Take your time. Fit. Oh, oh, getting back further. Not far enough. So, right back at it. Not enough.
Close.
There's going to be people that'll tell you, you know, you don't want to force it through. You don't, obviously. However, if it is tight and it is cycling, Mr. Arizona is going to find its own way. It's a little bit. We want to watch that for the trigger reset. Yeah. Oop. Little bit off the cam leg and you're right where you need to be. Since I already have one cut for this unit, I am going to stop right there. So then that way, anything else I put in, you know, if I needed a little bit of extra length versus the other one, which I have over here, this is a stock unit.
Yeah, if you want to drop it in and show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just for shits and giggles here, we'll talk about.
Obviously.
This was a 2-position. I made this. That's about where we're at. It's a little bit, right? So the beauty of this whole thing is no two units are the same. So hopefully there's no issues with which one was which, man? That's the new one. That's the new one.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
One's got some.
This one's
some
got a little bit of war wounds on it. Now, let me do a quick reset. Safe. Semi. Right?
That's all she wrote.
And that's it. Don't forget to put your favorite can on there too, people. Oh man, that's a new addition. Whoa, cover that up.
Nice.
Anyway, we'll butter up the video a little bit, I guess, and
yeah.
Anybody's got any questions or comments or anything like that, hit it up, and you know, we'll give you as much of a walkthrough as possible.
Thanks for watching, everybody.